Hey guys, Vance and Nubs here, and welcome to episode 11. So, in the last episode, we talked about when I ate F's ass and when she slashed my tires at the last tournament that I took her to. So, let's continue with the story and find out what happens next. So, after F slashed my tires and I chased her through the parking lot, I ended up going back to the bar, and her and A got picked up by one of their friends. When I got back, I started getting texts from F, and they were all just drunk and salty texts from her talking shit to me. So, here's the thing about my phone back then. So I had a flip phone and it was only capable of receiving about 5 texts. And every text after that would just appear blank, and the only way to fix it was for me to go and delete all my messages, sent and received, and then I would have to let her know that she needs to resend it. So I would send her a text after I deleted everything saying resend. That's it. Then I would delete that text message so I would have space, and then she would resend the text and we would continue on with our conversations. That is how we would communicate through text. So yes, it was quite annoying back then, texting all the time. But, however, this night was not one of those times where I wanted to delete the messages and tell her to resend them. So I just left them, and I just kept receiving blank text or whatever, or yeah, it just says like message error or something. Um, so yeah, at this point, I realized what happened over the last couple hours, and I started apologizing to her. I'm telling her I'm sorry for what I said and stuff, that I shouldn't have done it. Um, but yeah, she just didn't really care. I mean, she was drunk, I get it. Everything like literally just happened like 30 minutes ago, maybe. But yeah, I was just like, fuck, yeah, I shouldn't have done that. And I was just apologizing, and I was like, yeah, I guess she's upset. And then she just texted so much to the point where, yeah, I didn't want to delete them anymore and have her resend them. So then she starts calling me, but I don't answer her calls, and then she starts leaving me a bunch of voicemails. But this phone was also one of my stepdad's. Like, it was an extra business phone that he had, that no one was using, that he didn't need, so he let me use it for the time being, and I didn't have access to the voicemail. Um, the only people I was really talking to at the time was F and my mom, pretty much. So I didn't really need it at the time anyway until this point. So anyway, I had one of my friends take me home, and when I got home, both my mother and stepdad were still up, despite it being pretty late. I was a little nervous to tell them about what happened, but I told them, and I apologized for what happened after that. Um, After I talked to them about what happened, they were just like, "Yeah, okay, we'll just deal with it in the morning." So I was like, "All right, that's fine." I just went back upstairs to my room, and then after that, I got on my tablet and I posted about what happened that night on Facebook. Once I posted about it, F obviously saw it. Some of my friends commented on it, like, "Oh, dude, that was crazy what happened and stuff." And then when F saw it, she started coming in and just continuing her nonsense or drunken nonsense. And my mother decides to come on as well, and then she starts going after F, and then F starts retaliating towards her. So they're just like talking shit to each other, right? On Facebook, and then F's mother comes on and starts talking and like defending her actions and stuff, right? And my friends are just like, no, like you can't defend her actions. And her mom's like, oh, she was just angry and stuff. And they're like, yeah, but like that doesn't justify like what she did. I've been angry before, and I've never done anything to this extent. And like everybody was just like, it was fun. It was fun. And after that, the next day, F just she deleted all of her comments because I went back to go look at them and read them, and they were all gone. But yeah, from that point on, my mother has never liked F because of that altercation that happened and everything that happened that night. The next morning, I also asked my stepdad for the pin to get into my voicemail so I could hear her messages that she left me. Out of curiosity, I was just like, oh, I wonder what she said. Um, so my stepdad, he had the phone on speaker, and he was trying to remember what the pin was, and he got it, and it started playing the voicemails out loud. And the first one that I heard, it was her yelling, and all I can hear was something, and then she like said her baby daddy name, and then my stepdad deleted the voicemail. And I was like, shit, no, okay. I'm like, all right, thanks, okay, thank you. And I like took the phone from him so I wouldn't delete anymore. Um, so yeah, I went up and I listened to all the voicemails, and the first few of them were just, yeah, her like talking shit, just being all salty and drunk still, just yelling and whatever. Um, but then like the last few were just like of her like crying and apologizing for everything, and she was just saying how sorry she was for everything that happened. And yeah, it was just a bunch of voicemails of her apologizing, and she's just like, I'm sorry. Um, I understand if you never want to talk to me again, or if you never want to see me again at all. So yeah, after that, one of my friends hit me up. We'll call him Seth because he has a slight resemblance to Seth Rogen. He's from Tucson, which is a town about 90 miles south of Phoenix. And he was in town for the tournament, and he hit me up and he was like, hey, do you want to come to Tucson for a bit until Best of the West, which was in a few weeks. He was like, we have a bunch of weeklies out here. The competition is terrible. You can come out, get a bit of extra spending cash for the tournament. He was like, I'll drive you out and then I'll drive you back before the tournament and we'll be good to go. So I was like, all right, well, that sounds like a pretty good deal, So yeah, let's do that. So Seth and his buddy James came down and picked me up to take me to Tucson. When he got there, my mother came out and hugged him and said thank you, for taking him during this time and everything. She was like, take care of him. My mom gave me $100 to go out to Tucson, just a little bit extra spending cash, and yeah, so we headed out. A lot of my stuff was at F's apartment, so we had to go by her place first to get my stuff, before I went out, because like almost all my clothes were there. I was, practically living with her, So yeah, I had to go get my stuff. When we got there, I told my friends that I told my friends that if I was in there for longer than 15 minutes to come in and check on me. I told them what apartment number she was in. I told them that I was not kidding. I was just going in there to get my stuff, say goodbye, and then leave. So when I got to F's apartment, she immediately came and gave me a hug and would not stop apologizing about what happened. She also gave me $50 for the tires. But like, hello, you slashed 2 tires, not 1. And I don't even think that was enough for 1 tire, but it was a nice gesture, I suppose. So we talked for a bit. I told her that we needed time apart from each other for now after what happened. And I told her that it might be months until we can even talk again. It was, May of that year? And I think I said, yeah, not till like December or something. And she was just like, what? No, let's not do that. She suggested that we try and work it out. I was like, I need some time right now. I was like, look, I don't have time to talk. I just came to get my stuff. I told my friends to come check on me in 15 minutes if I wasn't out there. So to prevent them from doing that, I'm just going to get my stuff and I'm going to go, and then we'll see what happens. So, yeah, she said okay. She asked for a hug and a kiss, which I gave her. And yeah, then I grabbed my stuff and left. So when I got back to the car, I said everything was good to go, and then we headed out to Tucson. When we got back to Tucson, the first thing we did was buy alcohol. I used that $50 that she gave me to buy alcohol, so thank you for that. And yeah, that just started a long couple of weeks of drinking, bad decisions, and destroying my body, which we will talk about in the next episode. So yes, that is what happened after the tire slashing incident. F continued to be an angry drunk towards me until later on that night, into the next day. And then I decided to go to Tucson to get away for a couple of weeks before I went to San Diego for the Best of the West tournament. So yeah, it was a fun couple weeks in Tucson, which we will talk about in the next episode. And yeah, so Happy New Year, everybody. Vance and Nubs out. Mwah! Love you guys. Bye.